Hi, everybody, and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles, and on this episode, we're going to review New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong, Episode 86. Now, coming off of that, if you haven't watched any of my videos before, I rate everything here on a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. Jumping right into it, our first match of the evening, Andy Brown versus Hikuleo. This actually is my first time seeing Andy Brown. I've heard the name and I've seen him on flyers. I know he's a guy that wrestles out of the Georgia area. I just haven't had a chance to see him before here. And I was really impressed, actually. Hikuleo is a guy I know that has a ton of upside. Andy Brown's a big hoss of a dude. And I'm borrowing the term from Jim Ross. But I thought this was a good match, a good hoss fight. You got your Hikuleo seems to be putting on some mass, so he's not as tall and skinny as he was. He's more muscular. I kind of, and I'll talk about this at the end a little bit when I recap the whole show. I kind of knew what was going to happen here. They kind of telegraphed it with the match. Hikuleo picks up the win. I'm giving this one a 3. I thought it was a good way to start the show. We started off with some energy, with some two big beefy boys bouncing beef off each other. And that's tribute to you, Big E. Coming from that, we get Karl Fredericks versus Josh Alexander. This is my favorite match of the night. Karl Fredericks is really showing a lot. He's really stepping up, coming out of being one of those guys that is the quasi first class from the LA Dojo. This was a really solid match. I mean, Josh Alexander is absolutely one of the top 5 wrestlers in the world. If you're not watching him on Impact, you're really missing out because he's really amazing at what he does. This was a solid match. Karl Fredericks did not look out of place in this match at all. He looked like he belonged in there with a guy like Josh Alexander. And that's saying a lot because, like I said, Josh Alexander is one of your better wrestlers in the world. Again, kind of an obvious here for the win. Josh Alexander picks up the win. I give this one a 4. Afterwards, we see the factory of QT Marshall, Aaron Solo, and Nick Comoroto come out trying to recruit Karl Fredericks, who basically attacks him and turns him down. Clark Connors and Yuya Uemura come out to basically even the odds, which sets up a match for Windy City Riot, which in a little bit I'm going to go and watch because I watched this first, and I'm going to... Weirdly, New Japan has 2 events happening at the same time. Not that that's too weird if it was Strong and New Japan proper, but these are both basically New Japan Strong events. So I thought it was kind of weird that they had them both come on at the same time. I figured I'd watch this first. While I'm editing this video, I'm going to watch Windy City Riot, which should be an awesome show. But anyway, this sets up a match for that show. Coming off of that, we get a tag team match. Eddie Kingston and Fred Rosser versus Daniel Garcia and Fred Yehi. So we get a Fred on each side and an AEW star on each side. Kind of neat to see the AEW feud going over into New Japan Strong with Kingston and Garcia basically going up against each other and basically fighting it out this whole entire match. I thought this was a solid tag team match. There was a little where it felt a little bit dragged out. It felt like it went a little long. There was a little bit of a lull in the match. Eddie Kingston and Fred Rosser pick up the win here. I'm giving this a solid 3. I thought it was good, but if you were honestly going to ask me, this was my least favorite match of the night. And that's weird because all 4 of the guys in this I really like. I really enjoy Eddie Kingston. He's awesome. Fred Rosser is a guy who's so much better than most people remember him from his Darren Young days. Daniel Garcia is one of the guys I consider to be the future of wrestling. Fred Yehai, he's just awesome. He's just an amazing talent. I don't know what it is, but for me, the match didn't fully click. I thought it was good, but not great, in my opinion. Now, coming off of that, we go to our main event of the evening, the Jay White Open Challenge, except for he knew ahead of time for the first time during his Open Challenge. He's fighting against Chris Sabin. And I enjoyed this match. I thought it was really good. I thought it was solid. Kind of played back if you watch Ring of Honor when Jay White was on excursion there. He was hanging out. He was basically the young boy for the Motor City Machine Guns. They brought him around. So this is kind of a full circle moment for him. Mentor versus mentee. I thought this was a really solid match. They wrestled really well against each other. I kind of feel bad for Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley because a lot of what's happening in wrestling, they set the bar for, they set the table for, and kind of everybody else has gone past them and got way more money, basically, than they ever did. Not that they don't get the respect that they deserve, just they should get the money. Much like if you've seen the interview with CM Punk where he talks about Bret Hart should be getting that Saudi money, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley should be getting that AEW money. They should be getting that NXT. They should have got that NXT money. I digress here. We see the end. Chris Sabin goes for a cradle shock. Jay White turns it into a Blade Runner. Jay White picks up the win. Again, aside from the tag match, all of the outcomes here I thought were pretty predictable. I'm giving this match a 4. Afterwards, we have Hikuleo come out. Basically, Jay White is trying to keep Hikuleo in Bullet Club after kicking out his brothers. I thought it was okay. Jay White he's a good promo, but I think he doesn't switch up his style for the American audience enough. And sorry, there was just something over there that looked like it was falling. But anyway, I think he doesn't switch up his promo style enough, and he does a very much a New Japan promo. Not that there's anything wrong with that at all. He did a great promo here, but it felt very New Japan promo, which obviously it should. It's a New Japan show. Basically saying that Hikuleo is the future of Bullet Club, and if he sticks with Jay White will teach him how to breathe with the switchblade. I'm interested to see where this goes from here. Does this bring Hikuleo into Bullet Club? Does he turn on his brothers? Does he join main unit with Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, who, if you watched Hyper Battle earlier today, were officially given New Japan shirts along with Jado to bring them back into the fold into New Japan's main unit. I'm really interested how this story goes forward. I think it's, I'm a guy that's followed and loved Bullet Club from the beginning. I don't like the idea that Tama Tonga is out of Bullet Club because he is the Bullet Club OG. But I'm interested to see where the story goes. With all that being said, like I said, there was a little bit of repetitiveness. Not repetitiveness, but predictability on the show. Overall, I'm going to give the show a 4. I think the two, White and Sabin and Fredericks and Alexander, were stellar matches. Andy Brown and Hikuleo was good. The tag match was good. I enjoyed the show. I say it every time I do these reviews. This is my favorite wrestling show from week to week. This is very solid, usually solid to great every single week. With that being said, please hit the like button, share, comment, let me know what you think. Actually, I'd love to know, because I've done a few of these now. Since I've started doing these reviews, did you watch them before you watched my reviews? Have my reviews given you a reason to go back and watch these? do you just watch my reviews because you like to hear what I say? Which I think would be really cool. But yes, I don't necessarily think that's going to be the answer. Let me know down here. I'd like to know how many of you guys are actually watching New Japan Strong and what your feelings on that are. And of course, if you haven't subscribed and you like the video, please hit that subscribe button. And if you followed all the way to the end, like I always do, I always throw something in here. If you followed all the way to the end, put Switchblade down in the comments for Jay White. I hate to say it. Put Switchblade down there so I know you followed all the way to the end. With that being said, my name is George Coles, and this has been my review of New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong, Episode 86.